Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, as always, and we're getting ready to roll down memory lane, as always, here inside the Hall of Fame, giving you your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. I want to thank all the people in the chat as well for tuning in as well, as always. But man, I've been on a whirlwind tour. Um, as of late, man. Seems like I'm just now getting my bearings back. Just got back from LA, doing some stuff out there with Championship Wrestling, Dave Marquez. And I tell you, man, those guys got a really, really good organization down there in California. Can't wait to get back and do some more work with those guys. But I'm feeling spry right now. Getting ready for next Thursday night. I got a big match coming up, and I'm trying to get ready for it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I've been on the bike. I've been doing my cardio. I know it's not gonna help, but I've been doing it anyway. but also been getting ready for the inaugural Sherry Martell Classic. Man, I cannot wait to see the ladies go out there and do their thing on Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Bell time next week, guys. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. WrestleMania weekend is upon us. But how you feeling, man? How you feeling, dog?
I'm feeling good, Buck. I'm glad that we're back inside the Hall of Fame. You're right, WrestleMania weekend right around the corner. That I'm looking forward to the six-man tag that you're going to be in. I'm looking forward to the Sherry Martell Classic. I'm looking forward to seeing the Queen go into the Hall of Fame.
Make a little adjustment just happened. And you know, card always subject to change. Charlie Haas is out of that six-man, and Chavo Guerrero is in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Just want to put that out there.
I like it. Hey, card always subject to change. It's a little asterisk at the bottom of every flyer.
Yes,
you know. But I'm just glad to be back inside the Hall of Fame. I feel like it's been a minute since we got to chop it up because, again, you were in L.A., then you were in that L.A. traffic. We were going to try to get an episode in last on Tuesday.
Good God, man. You know what's crazy is I went to L.A., I don't know, a year or so ago, and it was so nice as far as the traffic goes, man. I mean, if it was 10 minutes, you get there in 8. Because of the pandemic, it just shut everything down. And tell you right now, bro, it's back. It's back. I said that on Championship Wrestling down with Dave Marquez on the show. I said, man, we are back. And I tell you, the city was wide open. Katana was kicking. I got a chance to go to this little place called a Yard House as well. My homie Marcus took care of me down there in LA. So I want a big shout out to Marcus, man. Appreciate you for taking care of me. But showed me all the hot spots. Even got a chance to go down to Venice Beach and get a workout in the sand on the beach with the brothers, man. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it was awesome. So yeah, I'm feeling good.
When's the last time you got a workout at Venice Beach? I've heard you tell stories before, like way back in the day, right?
Yeah. Last time I was on Venice Beach, I ran across some Bloods.
Oh yeah,
Crips, one of them, and they said, "What's up, Booker T?" I go, "Hey, what's going on, man? How y'all doing? You ain't gonna show us no love? Oh yeah, what's up, y'all? Want some photo? I don't want no trouble. You know what I mean?
Whatever y'all want,
bro. I mean, you got to know your environment, man. You got to know exactly your surroundings and being out in LA. But that's one of the few times I got a chance. I don't know. I went down to the beach. My boy Marcus, he took me down to the beach, and I wanted to get a workout in that morning at the hotel. But I said, man, let's go to the beach. You know, let's go see what's happening. And went down to the beach, and then I saw the brothers working out on the pull-ups. Man, I said, man, I got to get some of this. So I ended up spending about 45 minutes working out with the brothers on the beach, man. And it was awesome feeling, man. Really, really cool time.
Man, California is always a great place. I feel like sometimes it's necessary to go out there and just kind of, it gives you a little recharge. You know what I mean? LA has a vibe.
Yeah.
It's got a real vibe to it.
Yeah.
And not every city has a vibe. You know what I mean? Like Houston has a vibe.
Yeah.
Austin has a vibe.
But not like LA.
But LA's got, yeah.
Everything. I mean, just the scenery, man. My hotel room, I woke up, I'm overlooking the mountains, and I'm like, man, it's just beautiful. The weather was like 75, crystal clear, And man, I was like, man, this is the life. And then I got stuck in that traffic.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's a throw. That's I think that's the only throwback, man. Being out in LA is the traffic, man. That I cannot get used to. But with the job that I have, I wouldn't have to get used to it too much as far as being out in it. Just like Houston, I'm not in Houston traffic. We got some bad traffic,
We
and
do.
and I'm never really in Houston traffic just because of my job. So I might have to rethink this thing, man, and think on the LA tip a little bit more. You know what I mean? Seriously.
Yeah, but then you look at the prices for gasoline out there, cost of
Oh
living.
man, I'm
It's
gonna tell you,
ridiculous.
man, the gas prices at certain places it had topped $7 a
Oh,
gallon.
hurts my heart.
$7 a gallon. And that's what I'm like, man, it seems like it should be a lot of open, real estate out there. It seems like people will be moving the hell out of California just because of the gas prices alone. I can only, if the gas is up, the milk is up. You
Everything's
know,
up.
if the milk is up, the eggs are up. You know what I mean? So my thing is this, man. What are these people getting all this money in California? I'm trying to
You
figure.
know, well, the thing is, there was during the pandemic, they called it the mass texodus, right? So many people from California left during the pandemic, and they moved to Texas, mainly
Right.
Austin.
Migrated.
They migrated, yeah. So they called it the Great Texodus. But to me, California is great, but I don't think that I could do the lifestyle there. It's just not for me. I like
What do you,
the
what do you
way.
mean? What do you mean you can't do the lifestyle? Good
I don't know.
food, good weather, beautiful
Expensive,
women,
expensive
the
weather.
scenery.
I'm about
Uh,
to get married. Who needs that? You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
but still, there's nothing wrong with your eyes. Your
My
eyes
eyes
ain't gonna
work.
stop working. I mean, come
My
on.
eyes work. I use that line all the time. My eyes work.
I mean,
Uh,
you
but
get
you know
married.
what?
That's what you get married. All of a sudden, your eyes stop working.
Yeah, but you say beautiful women, like I'm supposed to do something with that.
Bro, my wife say beautiful women.
Well, hold on. Don't say my women now. Don't get
No,
caught up.
my wife say beautiful women. Look at that man, she's a beautiful woman. So why can't we as men look at a woman and say, man, she's beautiful and not have any ulterior motive? Why can't we do that?
Oh, I think that we can. I think that we would have a harder time to convince them that we can.
No, but what if your wife say, you walk in with she say, man, that's a beautiful woman over there. What you supposed to say? Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. She is. Yeah. You think so? Okay, that's great.
See,
Yeah.
you about to get divorced already.
Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me.
I'm just saying,
I,
man.
you know what I'm saying? I'll see. I see nothing. What do you mean?
Again, when you got a real woman and she know that you gonna always be home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You can still look, bro. I mean, there's nothing wrong with looking, as long as you ain't out there on the internet, in these secret chat rooms. You know what I mean?
Caught up.
Snapchat, where you get the message and then it disappear real quick. You know what I mean?
Does it?
You're hiding, you burn a phone, that type of stuff. When you start doing that kind of stuff, that's
I
when
did
you gotta,
start. I did start looking at you sideways when you started bringing that iPhone around, right? I didn't know, like, when Bookstar showed up with two cell phones, I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, it's an office line. Okay, I got you.
it's not even an office line. I don't even use it other than to take videos with
To
it.
do videos
That's it.
on the
That's it.
gimbal.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't even use it. I mean, I might use FaceTime to call home, but that's about. I mean,
You know what?
I went to Scotland and I left that phone in the kitchen plugged up when I left. So it's not a burner phone.
No, I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing with you. You know what the most pointless job in California, especially LA, must be? The
What's
most
that?
pointless job must be the weatherman.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
right? Like, what is he gonna do? Wake up every morning and be like, same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Same as
Oh,
yesterday.
man, I tell you, man, it was beautiful out there, man. Perfect golf weather, man. And I actually did get a chance to get on the course yesterday,
You
man.
did? What'd you shoot?
Man, I shot a 9 holes. I shot a 7 over. Yeah, +7.
Okay.
Plus six. No, wait a minute. Yeah, +6.
One
And
for every world title.
yeah. My thing was I got a one par, one birdie, along the way as well. So it was a good day. It was a good day. It was a beautiful, 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 beautiful day. To be exact. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Plus seven.
excited.
Plus seven. Yeah, plus
Plus
seven.
7. It's all right.
Yeah.
Look, we are almost a week away for WrestleMania.
We got to take a break. We got to take a break. We don't want to go over. We don't mess it up. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a second.
A little bit, but I think the match that everyone kind of saw me at my, I got the right exposure, I guess, is when I faced Ricochet in Japan for the Best of Super Juniors. And I think a lot of people saw that match and was like, all right, well, this is what Will does. He's a flippy guy. But I saw the constructive criticism that everyone would say, and I would go, hang on, no, they've got a point. They have got a point. We could have done some stuff different. We could have done this, that, and that different. And then I got in the ring with a guy called Shibata. And in New Japan, like, he was like top, like, do you know what I mean? He's like he was one of the new generation Three Musketeers. And I would be like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. And he looked me dead in the eyes. Like, he just looks at me, he goes, no. Oh, mate, I'm so scared. And he didn't, honestly, he didn't tell me a single thing of what we were going to do until I got in the ring. Yeah. And I was so scared.
Can you dig it, sucker? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Yeah, man. I was just talking to some of the guys from Sports Skeeter today, and we was talking about the Sports Skeeter Pro Wrestling Awards and how next year, actually this year, 2022, we're gonna have to expand, that range a little bit more as far as wrestlers around the world, like a Will Ospreay, because I think guys like that need to be really included as far as who is truly the best in the world. Of course, we have our AJ Styles. Of course, we have our Bryan Danielsons, but we do have there again the Will Ospreays around the world who really displayed nothing but pure talent. So can't wait to the Sports Skeeter Wrestling Awards 2022 come out because definitely, man, I got my eye on talent from around the globe.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Sports Kita as always. Will Ospreay, in that clip that we just played, that was from your show, The Indies, which is on YouTube right now. If you want to check it out, there's a 2-part interview with Will Ospreay. The thing I found so interesting of what he said just in that clip was the first time I ever saw him was from that Ricochet match that he had in New Japan. And I remember them doing all the flips in a row and the counter out of this, counter out of that, Irish whip this, counter, jump over, counter. And it was impressive from an athleticism standpoint. And but what stood out to me in that clip was he said, I took the criticism. I listened to it and I said, oh, wait, you know what? There is something I can learn from this. Right. And I think that as far as guys who are, have a name in the industry, I wonder how many of them think the same as Ricochet. I mean, as Will Ospreay. Yeah. Like if you give them, hey, you don't need to do that. Or, hey, what if you did it this way if they actually really take it? I know you've had a couple guys who kind of come to you all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, Street Profits are some of those. I think you've mentioned on the show before. Will Hobbs is somebody who will reach out to you and ask you different questions and stuff like that. But I think that that's more of a rarity than it is commonplace. Is to seek out advice from the OGs.
Yeah. I think it has to come from someone that you really respect in order to really take it to heart. I get that. I understand that. I didn't get a chance to, at least I don't remember. I was reading some quotes from William Regal, and he was talking about this very thing as far as guys going out there and pressing the envelope. I think he was, speaking on the Big E situation. And it was something that William Regal said, and I say it all the time. It seemed like him and I definitely went to the same wrestling school. He said if he was to talk to the wrestlers today, it would be nothing said to them other than what not to do. And I've said that so many times, man, as far as when I talk to guys, I never talk about what to do because, man, that's limitless. You could do like so many different things, but what not to do is, and then if you are going to do it, you think about it, you take it to someone, hey, and ask them, hey, what do you think about this? And if they give you some advice, maybe you should take that advice, analyze it, opposed to just saying, whatever, you know what I mean? Because normally, when you hear a guy like William Regal, when you hear a guy like myself talking about things like that, it's not to help us. Okay, because we've done it already. We've been there. We've seen that. It's normally going to be to help some young guy, perhaps not make a mistake that's going to be detrimental to their careers, not perhaps their careers, but perhaps to their lives and livelihoods. So I appreciate a guy like Will Ospreay when he say, man, and I look at him now, he's totally a different wrestler than he was 5 years ago. So he's definitely evolving as a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I think the what not to do's and like just small things, right? Just things that you might notice. Let me ask you this though: when you watch a match, like I heard Jerry Seinfeld talk about when he watches a comedian, it's hard for him just to enjoy the comedy. He always looks at, oh man, what if he said it this way? If he changed that word to this, it would be so much more impactful. Can you watch a wrestling match and not have those thoughts go through your head?
Not really. Every time I'm watching a wrestling match, it's always, man, if you'd have did this, or it's like, Charmel, she always say, man, I hate watching movies now because I'm looking for all of the little bitty stuff that's out of place. Oh man, they could have did that a whole lot better. It's like the one scene in The Predator. And you guys could go back and watch it. Arnold Schwarzenegger, you finally encounters the Predator and sees the Predator face to face. And he, boom, takes off running, and Predator's chasing him. Then he goes down the hill. He can't stop from going down the hill because of the momentum is taking him, and he's going down to the water below him. He goes all the way into the water. Then he has to swim to the bank. And then everything's perfect in this scene. He swims to the bank. He gets to the bank. And in this scene, Arnold Schwarzenegger has to get mud on one side of his face, okay, just to bring this thing to life. So when he goes into the water, he takes a deep breath, and then he sticks his jaw out real far, like real big, like he's holding his breath. And you can tell he's doing that just to get more paint on his face. More mud on his face. And I go, man, baby, you see that? Rewind it. Rewind it. And she's like, oh, man, now I see it. Those little bitty things is what we are looking for from a coach's perspective. We're looking for the little things that are out of place. And if we can get those guys to, change those little bitty things, it's going to make them a much better performer, much better wrestler, much better entertainer. And the thing is, they're going to know it when they find those little bitty things. So yeah, man, it's all about the detail.
The thing with me too is I see that in movies. I also see it from production elements. I just wonder, did you get a chance to check out AEW last night?
I did not. I was asleep last night.
Yeah,
I'm not joking, man. I'm serious, man. I was asleep. I slept all day yesterday, man, other than that 9 holes of golf. But no, I missed it. Fill me in.
Well, there's a match. It was like a big 8-man tag, right? The Hardys and Darby and Sting were in versus Private Party, the Butcher and the Blade, or whatever. And there was a spot where I think it was the Butcher has Darby Allin. They're brawling outside in the crowd, right? And the match, I think, only went like 10 minutes, maybe. But anyway, he's got Darby Allin. And you know how sometimes those arenas, they have those like staircases, like those cement staircases that go down and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like a little hole. So anyway, he picks up Darby like in a power bomb position. He slams him against one side of the wall, the concrete wall, slams him in the other side of the wall, and then he throws him down the stairs, right? Yeah. And there's about 30 steps that Darby Allin do, right? Now tell me if I'm wrong. I'm asking you from your perspective. Like if something like that were to happen and you were in the match, would you be like laid out for pretty much the rest of the match, especially if it's like 10 minutes? Like you wouldn't just get right back up from that, would you? When you like want to like make sure the effect was felt?
Normally, yes. If I'm going to get, threw down a flight of stairs, let alone banged up against the wall twice, and then be mobile enough to get back into the action and actually be effective. Um, that's what wrestling is today, and I just think there again, the business today, it's going to be left to as far as the history of it, it's going to be left, what these guys leave behind. And I do think, the Darby Allens of the world, of course, these guys got to go out and, do a little bit more, give a little bit more, just because he's not the biggest guy in the world. But when I look at Darby Allin, I say, man, this is talent. And I got to think about taking care of my talent. And I just think we can figure out a different way to, get to means to an end, opposed to having Darby Allin perhaps, put himself out or hurt himself, injure himself to where he can't do this. I don't know. Me personally, of course, it would have been a spot. It would have been a reason why Darby Allin did that. It wouldn't have been done just to be a spot. That's something that we could definitely utilize for not just this week, next week, but probably next month or the next 3 months. And
Right.
If Darby Allin come back next week and he's just Darby Allin coming down on the skateboard, that's one of those things to where it was a moment that was missed, and they'll probably never get it back. And that's the like was talking not too long ago, and somebody said in the chat, well, I was talking about Blanchard, Tessa Blanchard, being the men's champion in Impact, and somebody said, "Well, it's like being a superhero. It's like she's Wonder Woman. She's like got special powers." And I'm like, when we start looking at it like that, that's when we're losing it a little bit from a wrestler's perspective. When the wrestlers start looking at it like that, I would question Tessa Blanchard, with the men's championship, saying, the hell am I doing? you know what I mean? So I'm trying to think about there again, trying to keep this business moving forward.
Yeah. No, I mean, and the thing is, when I saw the spot with Darby, I'm thinking exactly what you said. I was like, oh, they're probably setting up an angle, right? He's going to be off a TV next week or whatever like that. And then I saw him like maybe 2 minutes later,
That is.
back on his feet, assisting in the next, thing with Jeff and Matt and those guys.
Hey, bro, that's what we are. That's what we are, man. Come on, let these young guys go out. How you gonna tell these young guys they can't go out there and fly? Hey, stick around, man. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back.
My name is Dan Miller, and I'm trained to be a professional wrestler here at Reality of Wrestling. Professional wrestling has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. Growing up, I would have the toys, I would have matches with stuffed animals, I had a little paper championship. I always had that voice in the back of my head saying, can you do this? Can you really be a pro wrestler? And one day that voice got so loud, I just had to know. So I did my research, and I found that Reality of Wrestling is the best training ground in the whole country. You could sit down and turn on the TV every night of the week to watch pro wrestling, and you'll see someone who got their start in this ring. Reality of Wrestling teaches you everything you need to know about the business, from putting together the ring to putting together a TV show. This is a place where you can come and work on your fundamentals, work on your body, work on your interview skills. This is a one-stop shop for everything pro wrestling. If you have that voice in the back of your head, now is the time to find out if you have what it takes here at Reality of Wrestling.
Can you dig it, sucker? Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Hey, man, a whole lot. We got to get into it, Brad. We got to get into it. What happened over the last few days, MMA, mixed martial arts, combat sports, Jorge Masvidal, Colby, Chaos, Covington, alleged attacked on Colby Covington from Masvidal. What do you think about this, man? What do you think? Of course, Masvidal said it's on site if I see you in public.
Yeah.
You talked about my kids. That's something that is not going to go unpunished. And so what do you think about this whole thing with Masvidal and Kobe Chaos Covington?
You know, my first instinct, I understand not talking about somebody's family. I understand certain things are off limits. We've seen in MMA before where you take it a step too far, what happens, right? Going back to Conor McGregor and Habib Nurmagomedov. When Habib jumps the octagon and starts a brawl with the governor of Nevada there or wherever they were, right?
Yeah.
We've seen what happens. Like it can cross a line at a certain point. We heard Dustin Poirier in the press conference that we were involved in Houston say if he were to see Kobe Covington somewhere, it would be on site with Dustin Poirier. All right. So obviously he strikes a nerve with a lot of people. Now, I think that running up on somebody out in the wild, that's not where you do it. In my opinion, if you're a pro fighter, you just had your shot to lay it on this man, right? Inside of a octagon to where there will be no repercussions for your actions. You don't have to worry about the clink. You don't have to worry about the police. You don't have to worry about bail money. You don't have to worry about any of that, right? And you fail to capitalize on your opportunity. So then you run up on him in a steakhouse. I didn't like the move. Do I understand why he did it? Sure. I get why he did it. Do I like it? I think he could have handled himself a better way.
Hey man, it's a fight. I mean, what do you think? My thing is this, man. These guys, these are fighters. These guys ain't out there, curing cancer or anything like that. They're fighters. That's what they do. I mean, they're like, you lock them in a cage. All right, you close the door, you lock the cage. That's the closest to being, like a cockfight, two pit bulls going at each other to the death. Am I correct here or not?
I would say so.
When you get in a boxing ring, there is some decorum. That's why they call it pugilists. They're guys. There's a whole lot of respect behind that game right there. But MMA, man, these guys are like dogs, fighters, man. They get in there and they're looking to lock on and keep it locked till somebody go down. My thing is this: Jorge Masvidal, he's a guy from the street. Do I condone what he did or anything like that? Hey, man. I put myself in his position. I don't know if I would have did it that way. I might would have did it a little bit different because I know there's a lot of cameras out there and whatnot. He might would have should have thought this thing through a little bit better, opposed to having 5 of his buddies roll up on him and somebody's taping it at the same time. Maybe the plan just wasn't right as far as Jorge Masvidal. But I'm not going to sit here and say he shouldn't have done what he did to a man like Kobe Covington. That guy, man, he's the bottom of the bottom as far as I'm concerned, as far as fighters go.
So he's worth going to jail over? Like he's worth getting in trouble with the law over?
That's what I said. Maybe the plan should have been perfected a little bit differently. Maybe they should have thought it out a little bit better.
Should you not thought, though, he had his opportunity in the octagon to put hands on this man?
Yeah, understandable, man.
What was that, 2 weeks ago? Whenever that was?
Hey, bro, just because these guys get in the octagon and fight for money, don't think that the street is gone. You know what I mean? Don't think that these guys, come on. We got a guy about to go to prison from shooting somebody here just a couple of weeks ago, right? A month ago, right? So these guys aren't like, hanging out, in a white collar job, making 6 figures or anything like that on a regular basis. Before they was fighting, that wasn't their lifestyle. Kobe Covington may be the exception to the rule, and again, maybe not be the exception to the rule because you guys got like Daniel Cormier and so many more that went to college and worked from that side, had a degree, whatnot, perhaps, majored in such and such and whatnot. But a lot of those guys come strictly directly off the street. In that business, if it wasn't for that, a lot of them would still be on the street. You know what I mean? So these college kids may have to think about what they're saying when they're out there in that environment, because just like these rappers, man, these guys, get knocked off like that by going out there saying something stupid, and don't think this game is that far from that game. I don't think it is, because people pretty much are the same, DNA wise, the way we're structured. I think so I'm just saying, a guy like Kobe Covington, a lot of the things that he say is inflammatory, and it could get somebody hurt real bad. And that's what I'm saying.
Oh, look, I don't disagree with you in the slightest. Well, what I said, I understand why Masvidal wanted to do it. I get it. There's certain lines that you don't cross. I just don't know if I really hated Colby Covington that much, I don't think I would give him the satisfaction of being able to call the police and send me to a situation that I would rather not be in.
Where you taking courses at right now?
University of Alabama.
Exactly my point.
What does that mean?
Jorge Masvidal. What college did he go to?
I don't know. The University of Miami. I don't know where he didn't go to college. I don't think so.
Exactly my point. Exactly my
point.
What
are you trying to say?
This is a guy who was fighting in backyards.
I watched it.
Okay, now tell me this here. What do you think would happen when one of those guys in the backyard talking smack like Kobe Covington's talking right now?
He gets smacked around.
And he might get caught on the street. And it might be a whole lot worse than that, dealing with someone like a Jorge Masvidal with that mentality, with that back. It's just like me. Just like, for instance, I always say you never run up on somebody or say stupid things to certain people, because you just don't know what's going on ticking in their head. A lot of people don't know my background. They don't. Well, they know it now because I've told it to them. But back in the day, a lot of guys did not know my background, and to tick around and mess around with somebody like me, somebody could have got hurt because I wasn't thinking the way they were thinking. I didn't come from the places they came from. When they were in school, I was on the street trying to, hustling, trying to make it from day to day, trying to make sure a meal was, being had. So a lot of times there again, of course, a guy like Kobe Covington want to go out there and play this role that he's playing, but that role can become very serious. Boom, like that, when you're dealing with somebody whose mentality is like a Molotov cocktail about to go off at any moment, because there again, you just don't know what that person is capable of. And to put yourself in that situation, I'm not saying Kobe Covington deserved anything that happened to him. I'm not saying that at all. But certain people you could talk smack to and get away with it. And then certain people, something bad could actually happen. And somebody could end up in the hospital. Somebody could end up dead. So that's what I'm talking about as far as playing this quote unquote game, talking about people's families, people's religion, because there again, we're talking about religion. 9/11 was a case of religion where men were willing to strap bombs to themselves, all willing to take a plane and run it into the World Trade Center because they believed in something that we don't understand at all, such as the Khabib situation.
Right.
That kind of stuff, bruh, can really get you hurt. People have died from creating cartoon memes about religious concepts. So my thing is this: you got to be careful when you're dealing with certain people. And Kobe Covington, he may get paid out of this. He might get, of course, he might sue. He might get some money out of it. But hopefully, this brother learned a lesson about going out there and talking to everybody the same way and thinking he's going to get the same result every time. It just doesn't work that way. And I'm just being straight up. I'm just trying to be real with this situation right here. Brother better watch his back when he's dealing with certain people.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think about it. I've probably said on this show, Colby Covington has crossed the line in every fight that he's had. He said stuff to Tyron Woodley. He said stuff to Kamaru that I thought was just disgraceful and despicable. The same goes for Jorge Masvidal. You do see, like you said, Tyron and and Kamaru, they kind of pieced it up with Colby after. I think Kamaru and Colby like started hugging in the middle of the octagon after.
Well, that was all Covington saying, "Hey man, I appreciate it. I love you, man." I mean, no, he said, "I love you, and I appreciate
Thanks
you
for
know,
the house, bro.
yeah,
Thanks for the house.
thanks for the house, brother." One of those type of deals.
But,
Yeah.
But like you said, Masvidal's not that guy. He's just not that guy. And Colby, being his former best friend or whatever, probably should have known that this man was capable of certain things. Again, do we condone violence of any kind? No, we don't. But at a certain point, if you reap what you sow, sure, absolutely.
Hey man, it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse. He missed it. I think he got his tooth knocked out or his teeth.
Two teeth. I hope. Hey, I mean, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. They always want something from you. And you're still willing to take it. But I remember when I was a boy, those long trips, those long fishing trips, were some of the best times of my life. Those cool mornings and those late summer breeze. Come in. Guys.
You wanted to see us?
Yes. I did. I wanted to see you. I needed to ask a question to you, Hefe. You do great mechanic work.
Yes. Claro que sí.
Well, I need a vintage 90s model. Worked on. Perhaps some work under the hood. Transmission problems.
Claro que sí.
Yes.
It can be done.
Yes. It can be done.
It can be done.
Now, it's time to reel in the big one. Can you dig it, sucker? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. What?
Gotta love that.
Hey man, that stuff's going crazy, man. I saw somebody in the chat say, "What are those ham and cheese sandwiches?" I love those ham and cheese sandwiches. Those sandwiches were the best sandwiches in my life.
Oh man, yeah. If you haven't been watching Reality of Wrestling, definitely make sure you catch up on the episodes. There's more than just wrestling happening. There's a lot of story going on, so make sure you go check that out. Book, we do have a lot of super chats that we have neglected thus far.
Definitely,
still a lot of wrestling stories.
Let's take care of them, bro.
But first, before we get to the super chat, because we're about to get to them, I saw of course last week, I guess it was now, we lost the late great Scott Hall. You know, out of nowhere.
Yep.
So sad. But you know, one of the things is you're getting to relive all these great moments. And I've been watching nothing but Scott Hall interviews and matches for the last 2 weeks. First of all, guy had maybe the best working punch in wrestling history.
Yep,
you go back and look at it. Oh my gosh, it looks like he's destroying somebody.
Oh yeah.
But he and Kevin Nash had a series of interviews, and they sat down and they were asked about their time in WCW as a tag team, more specifically, their interactions with Harlem Heat, right? And there was a clip that I pulled. I just want to see if you remembered this and what you can tell me about the match. So I'm about to play the clip right now. This is the Outsiders talking about working with Harlem Heat.
I thought we did the best we could with everybody. We started off with Harlem Heat, right?
Yeah.
We did some pretty sweet stuff with them.
Yeah,
I always remember.
I like working with Booker and Steve.
I remember I remember the spit spot in Las Vegas at Halloween Havoc. I did some early. I started with Booker, did some bing, bing, bing stuff with Book. Stevie came in. I let Stevie toss me around. Went like this. Spit on him. Stevie Ray's a big, proud black man, and you don't spit on him even when you're working. And I knew I was going to do it, but I didn't want to tell him because he might say no, and then I'd have to do it, and I'd get beat up when I get back to the locker room. So I did it, and he went, and people went, whoa, and he looked at me, and then I just went. Just like this, don't even look back, just tag Kev, and it worked so sweet. And to Stevie's credit, after Kev put him over, Kev bing, he binged Kev down, bing, 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 he turned around to me and went, spit on me when I was on the outside. I came in, tripped on the rope, did the flare bump.
So do you remember that story, Harlem Heat versus the Outsiders in this spit spot that Scott Hall was talking about?
I remember it vividly, man, because there again, of course he didn't tell my brother he was going to do that. And that's what the business was back then, man. It was act and react. It wasn't taken personally or anything like that. But you're going to get a receipt later, you know what I mean? And just like Scott said, he might have even got his ass whooped, in the locker room. But he was willing to go that far to make the feel mean something, make it feel real. And for man, working with those guys, it was always real, man. It was no spot calling or anything like that in the back. We're gonna go out and we're gonna make these fans feel a certain way, and that's what it was, man. Working with the Outsiders, good times.
What made Scott Hall so great, though, in your opinion?
I mean, you look at him and his work style, his body of work, it speaks for itself as far as, what he did for the business. But I think I would go back to the match that he had with, Sean Waltman, more so than anything, because people remember Sean Waltman, from that match. People remember Sean, getting over like crazy. That match pretty much put him on the map as a major player and perhaps big time superstar. And that couldn't have happened without Scott Hall. You know what I mean? Scott Hall had to go out there and really give himself up in order for that to actually happen. I'm going to beat this kid down and I'm going to put him over at the same time, and I'm going to build him to a point to where you're going to remember him for the rest of your life for this moment. That's Scott Hall. I mean, doing that work right there. No way you would remember 1, 2, 3 Kid, X-Pac, 6-Pac, the way we have if it wasn't for Scott Hall.
Is there any other memories that come to mind when you think about him? Any matches that y'all had other than the one that we just talked about with the Outsiders? Or is there anything that you think of when you think of Scott Hall from your interactions with him?
Oh, man, the only thing I can remember is Scott and I, we always had a real good chemistry, a real good flow. It wasn't anything forced. We didn't have to think about it or anything like that. Man, if it was something, if it was anything that, just say, for instance, went awry with Scott and I will remember it, but I don't, because everything was always pretty much flawless working with Scott Hall.
Just the best, man. The best. Rest in peace to the bad guy, of course, Scott Hall. 2-time Hall of Famer, Scott Hall. We got to make sure he gets his credit where credit's due. But, Book, we got some super chats. Are you ready to get to them?
Let's do it, man.
All right. This one comes from DJ1491. Finally, the Hall of Fame has come back to YouTube. Really enjoyed the last episode of Reality Wrestling. That promo Book had with Austin was incredible. That wasn't Booker T. That was Daniel Book Lewis. Great stuff.
I appreciate it, man. Reality Wrestling, we're trying to step up to the next level of entertainment, and we're trying to be more than just a wrestling company. We're not trying to be WWE or anything like that, but we are definitely taking our show to a more cinematic perspective, to where the stories mean something, the wrestling means something, the interactions with the fans actually mean something. And I think we're on the right track. So I want to just thank you for tuning in to Reality of Wrestling, and stay tuned. There's a whole lot more to come from the fiendish side of Booker. Not even Booker T anymore,
It's just Booker.
just Booker.
The late 90s model. Maybe there's some transmission problems.
Barbarians need to be rearranged.
You know,
I was talking to a guy out in California actually who works out in Hollywood, and he was talking to me about some of those clips, and he goes, "Man, who writes this stuff?" And I go, "I do." He goes, "Man, how do you think about that stuff?" And I go, "They're just real stories." people talk about the ham and cheese sandwiches and talking about Ray Gray. That's a real person. Ray Gray was a bully. Ray Gray tried to take my sandwiches. I gave him my sandwiches one day. The next day he said, he pretty much demanded my sandwiches. And I told him, "No, I'm not going to give you my sandwiches." And he said, "I'm going to beat you up after school." And I say, "Well, I'll be waiting for you after school, bro." And I handled my business, and I never had a problem with Mr. Gray ever again. The fishing trips, those long fishing trips, cool mornings, those late summer breeze. Those were some of the best times of my life. They really was, man. I used to love going fishing as a kid. Being there early in the morning, on the fishing pier, late at night, sometimes into the early morning, fishing. God, man, those times I remember, and I miss those times. I miss those times so much, man. I think those were the best times of my life.
man, I love when you told Aiden Cristiano, so I hear you do great mechanic work. Did you ever see The Irishman? That came out a couple years ago. It had Pacino and Pesci and De Niro.
I didn't see that.
So De Niro is essentially a hitman for the mob, right? And they call him the Irishman. And Pacino plays Jimmy Hoffa, and he calls De Niro because he needs somebody taken care of, right? And Pacino says, "So I heard you paint houses," right? And that was the code, right? And he's referring to splattering people's walls with blood.
Yeah.
But I heard you paint houses, so that's what it reminded me of. I heard you do great mechanic work.
Hey man, look here, man. I'll think of some good stuff, man. And there's, like I say, there's plenty more to come, as far as this character and as far as how far I'm going to take it. But just stay tuned. Reality of Wrestling is going to be bringing you guys some of the best entertainment, as well as going to be working with a lot of the wrestling companies around the country, like Memphis Championship Wrestling, of course, Championship Wrestling out there in California. It's not Championship Wrestling Hollywood now, it's just Championship Wrestling, as well as those boys down there in Dallas, Texas, World Class. Going to be doing some stuff with those guys. Hopefully, at the end of the day, man, we could merge independent wrestling together, and it could become one and become the biggest of all that we've ever seen as far as independent wrestling goes. You guys having a chance to see these guys before they become superstars, or some of the superstars that just perhaps went and didn't like it or didn't make it, came back, and we're going to continue to do our thing. But you're going to get a chance to see some of the best wrestling around the country here very, very soon in the near future, with Reality of Wrestling being right there at the helm, because everything is bigger in Texas. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. 3.
So the independent scene for me, I broke in 1998, which was a long time ago, but for me, it was an opportunity to learn. I got an opportunity to learn from guys like Greg Valentine, King Kong Bundy, guys that I grew up watching, to come into a locker room, share a locker room with them, pick their brain. That was the most important thing for me, is to find out certain things, what they did, how to act, not only in the ring, but in the locker room, just from a respect level. And I came in at a very, I think, with the best time. In 98, 99 was the start of the Attitude Era. So I got to sit back and not only watch on TV all these superstars and to hope one day join them, but to learn from the guys that I've been there before. And nowadays in the independents, there's not a lot of guys that you can pick their brains, and a lot of guys that have that TV experience and have been around the world. And we're on the road 300 plus days a year. So I was very thankful for my time on the independents.
Can you dig it, sucker? Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. I know we got super chats, Brad, so let's super it up, man.
All right, let's go to the next one. Lord Frieza says, Book, I'm going to tell you a fun fact that nobody else will ever tell you. I'm from El Salvador, and in my little village, Santa Rosa, you're well known. You got love in El Salvador.
Hey, man. Much love, bro. Appreciate that. It's crazy, man. It really is crazy how far I've reached as far as making fans feel a certain way, and that's what my career was all about. And I know these days, a lot of these young guys these days out there, they may not appreciate it, but I know every time, like I just say, for instance, I go to a convention or something, like I was in Arkansas, man, and this kid, I'm going to post it. This kid watched me as a youngster, and I made such an impact on his life. He made this huge life-size poster of King Booker, and he did it with Lego. And I was so floored, man. I was so floored, and just thankful with gratitude. Like, wow. I like, how could you do this? And he go, wow, man. And he goes, I just want to give this to you. And he just wanted to give it to me. And I can only imagine what it was worth, but he just wanted to give it to me. So for me, hearing something like that, someone all the way in El Salvador who perhaps couldn't speak English like a Bad Bunny, connected with Booker T through my entertainment, that is awesome, man. So I just want to say, man, this is not cliche or anything like that, but if it wasn't for guys like you, there would be no Booker T. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Facts right there. Cali Tonio says, I just spent $50 for a half a tank. You're talking about being in that California world.
Man, you ain't lying, man. Just think, man. I'm going to Dallas here in the Winnebago, and it's $379 cash. So I would be spending cash on my way to Dallas, man, because to fill that thing up, it's going to be over $200 just to fill it up. So, yeah, man, I feel your pain, man. Like I say, being out there in L.A., and they say in L.A. County, it's higher there than anywhere in the world, bro.
Yep.
So, man, God bless you guys.
God bless them, really. Really, I see gas. It's gone down like a little bit here in town, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is encouraging. So hopefully that continues. This is from P Serious. Did you guys ever see the Rocky IV director's cut? I thought the original version was fine the way that it was after seeing the new cut. Did you see Rocky versus Drago, Book?
Man, we was talking about watching that, man. Is it on Netflix or anything? Or how can I watch it?
I think it's on Amazon. I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon.
Okay, I don't know if
you can rent it on there.
Yeah. I tell you what. I think I'm gonna make it a point to watch it tonight.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to see it either. I saw the making of it. There's a documentary.
You was telling me about it. Yeah, you was telling me about it.
That was cool, but I never got around to seeing the actual movie. I wanted to see it in theaters.
My thing is, I'm just wondering, how much can you change it? I'm sure the fight scenes are going to be relatively close to what they were. I'm sure you could change a little bit of the outtakes as far as stuff that was happening outside of the ring, but I don't think you could change you can't change the outcome of the fight. I don't think.
Well, no, you can't change the outcome of the fight. I know the only thing that I know about it is I know that the robot was completely cut out.
Well, it shouldn't have.
I know.
I mean, if it was, that's something that we could have, said we didn't need that anyway, right? If that wouldn't have happened in the first scene, we wouldn't have missed it.
I remember hearing a review at the time, and I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know, but I think they also de-emphasized Brigitte Nielsen's character quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that they cut her screen time down significantly.
That was probably due to Sly. Sly got a raw deal with that right there. Owner say he passed her off quick. He said and he say he set Stallone up to actually date Bridget Nielsen when Stallone thought he was stealing her. Actually, Arnold was passing her off because he knew it was gonna not be a bad. He knew it was gonna be a bad deal for him. It's crazy, man. If that's true, man, Arnold's a bad dude, man.
I read something else about that. Like he did because they had a real rivalry between each other.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying.
They ended up piecing it up later on in life, but they had that real competition. And there was a movie called Stop or Mom Will Shoot. Do you remember that one?
Remember that?
It was Sly and Estelle Getty, I believe.
Yeah, it was a
The
bad
Golden
movie.
Girls.
It was a bad movie.
Legendarily bad, but it was written originally for Schwarzenegger. And Arnold pretended, or it was written, and he pretended that he was interested in it. And he made sure word got back to Stallone's camp that he was interested, so Stallone would be interested, right? And so Stallone calls the producers like, I want to do this movie, and because he thought Arnold was going to do it, but Arnold never had any intentions of it.
Yeah.
And so they put him in the movie, or he did the movie, and it was legendarily terrible.
Oh my God! You know, like I said, if that was Arnold's strategy back in the day, man, he was a real bad.
Yeah, he was a bad man. He was
No,
a bad
man,
man for doing
But
that.
I like that. That's a good kind of bad. You know what I mean? It's good bad. You're always on top of your game, especially keep your friends close and your friends close, or enemies close and your friends. What you know what I mean? Yeah, friends
Keep
close and your enemies
enemies
close.
close.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, this is the actual quote from Arnold. He said, so they went to Sly, and then Sly called me and said, hey, have they ever talked to you about this movie, The Stop or My Mom Will Shoot one? And Arnold said, yes, I was thinking about doing it. It's a really brilliant idea. I love this movie. And then it says, determined to outshine Schwarzenegger, Stallone accepted the role. When he heard that, because he was in competition, he immediately called them and says, look, whatever it takes, I do the movie. So he ended up doing the movie. And of course, it went down the toilet.
He also married Bridget Nielsen, right?
He did marry Bridget Nielsen.
That was a lot of money he had to pay right there. So Sly, man, definitely fell for all the old tricks from Arnold, man. But we got a few more super chats. Let's keep it going before we got to take a quick break in about 3 minutes.
We have one more, I think, unless I missed yours. Y'all let me know if I missed it. But I have another one here from Cali Toenail who says, BT, how you gonna come to Cali and not DM Cali? I used to work as the saute chef at the Yard House for years. What did you have? Next time, hit me. I'll take you guys out to the Magic Castle in Hollywood or something else real fly.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. I had this shrimp. It was real nice, man. It was almost like tempura. And they had them stacked all on top of each other where it looked like there was like a big round, like big bowl of shrimp. And they had like this sweet like sauce on them. And I tell you, bro, I'm talking about perfect. Perfect to the taste. My first time ever going to the Yard House. And I think I had a sirloin, 8-ounce sirloin. And yeah. So it was on, man. It was on like a steaming pot of neck bones, and it was good. If I say so myself, the Yard House. Big shout out to the Yard House, because them boys in the Yard Bird, they took care of me too, man. They treated me real nice. There was a guy in there, man. As soon as we walked in, man, he goes, bro, Booker T, you gotta be kidding me, man. He said, man, I was just playing your theme song yesterday. He said, man, you took a picture with me when I was 7 years old, man. And you was like the nicest dude in the world, bro. And I just want to say thanks, man. Let me take care of you, bro. He sit us down. I had, boom, a couple of, cranberry and vodkas, and a nice meal, and the appetizer. And then I was getting ready to leave with my friend Marcus, and he ate as well. We getting ready to leave, and I go, man, what a check in? He goes, man, I took care of that for you, man. Everything's all taken care of, bro. Man, he said, man, just out of celebration for this night, man, you think we could get a picture, man? I compare it to my 7-year-old picture, and I was like, heck yeah, bro. So we took a picture, man. It was the coolest night, man. It was the coolest night. The Yard House, man. in LA, man. You definitely got to check it out when you're out there. And I had a great time. And so, Callie, appreciate it, man. Next time, dog. Next time, I'll make sure I hit you in the DM, let you know. And come check that show. When I'm out there, I'll be out there with Championship Wrestling. Definitely, I hit you up so you can come check me out at Championship, and we can do some stuff, hang out maybe.
Because the Championship Wrestling was from they did it at the Improv, right?
Yeah, the Improv in Irvine, Burbank. Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
So definitely. Oh, okay. I know right where you were. You went to the Yard House by the Improv. It was close by.
Yeah, it was right by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know where you're at. At.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Let me ask you this, because I know what the Improv looks like here in Houston. Is it like a similar size?
It is. It's similar.
So
It's
did they set the ring up on the stage?
No. They set it up right before the stage, and that's what's different about it. The seating at the Improv here is different than the seating at the Improv there, but the green room is exactly the same. I'm serious. It's crazy. I swear I'm sitting in the green room and I'm like, wait a minute, man, this seems so freaking familiar because it seemed like the same exact green room. But yeah, hopefully, we will figure out how to find a way to do some shows at the Improv as well. Working with my man Dave Marquez, he got all the connections. You got all the hookups. So hopefully he'll be hooking up something soon. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Taking this mug home, guys. We back inside the Hall of Fame. Getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams. We got any more super chats, man? Can you hear me? Bradley, are you there?
I can't hear you, so just give me a second. Everyone can hear you, but I can't. So just give me a moment.
Why are you looking so disturbed right now? I mean, he's looking.
I'll be right back.
Wrong. And that's the way it is, man. Sometimes with this tech issue, this tech world that we're living in, is always some kind. Let me fix that right there because Brad can cut my head off, so I got to fix things up right here. I'm
We got it.
But there it is. We back. I mean, he's just cut my head right off there. But we back now. Do we have any super chats, man? Do we have any
I think we got to all of our super chats again. If you want to say something to Booker T, or you have a question or a comment about the show, make sure you super chat it in. We will read it on the air here on Reality Wrestling, and of course ESPN 97.5 and 925 here in the Houston area. Book. Since we last spoke, though, it did become official. At least the rumors. Actually, hold on. Hold on. Before we even get there, let's get to the super chat. Booker, you think WWE should make Razor Ramon Money in the Bank Memorial Ladder match where the winner gets a shot at the Intercontinental title? I think we had a similar idea come in last week.
Yeah, we said we talked about that last week as far as it being a annual event at the WrestleMania show, just to give Scott Hall his moment in the sun, man, just because the ladder match is something that I think he put on the map from a perspective to where
him and Sean, for sure.
I mean, if you're going to have a ladder match, that's the one you're going to be compared to. So Yeah, man, he should have that moment. And for the IC championship, that right there is another great idea, because that that championship always was, the one that said, "Hey, man, you could be next in line." I mean, you are, world championship material. So yeah, man, I love that idea. It's a great idea.
It is a great idea. I understand why they do Money in the Bank as a separate pay-per-view, but I've always enjoyed it as a part of WrestleMania. I think you were in a Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania as King
Didn't do
Booker at
nothing
one.
in it. Didn't do nothing in it though. But yeah, I was.
You were there.
I was there. Yeah,
I'm-
I took no bumps at all.
oh man, I'm not saying I invented hip hop, but I was there. That's from some movie. I
Exactly.
can't remember what that's from. But I get why they do the old pay-per-view, but I would rather them do it at WrestleMania, right? Because more often than not, they end up doing some sort of multi-man ladder match anyway. You might as well do it at Mania from now on, because right now, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know the IC champion is Ricochet, and I don't know if he has a match at WrestleMania right now. I'm not sure of this.
Maybe not right now, but I'm sure he's going to be penciled in. We got two nights. He's going to have to be penciled in somewhere.
Let's do a multi-man ladder for Razor. Let's do it.
You know what, man? That's a great idea. I mean, do it now. Start it now. And then again, I'm sure it's going to be some technicalities they're going to have to go through as far as trademark and that thing. So it may be a little too early to do it this year, but definitely something that they can do in memory of, something like that.
Yeah. So we'll definitely see. I mean, I think that they own the Razor Ramon name, I do believe. Because let me ask you this: whenever Razor or whenever Scott and Kevin came into WCW, WWE then recasted, if you will, the characters of Razor Ramon and Diesel. Glenn Jacobs actually played Diesel on TV. He was the Diesel character, and I can't remember the gentleman's name who did Razor Ramon. But they wrestled legit as Razor and Diesel for weeks. This happened. Do you remember this? And do you remember any kind of reactions from the WCW side of this?
I don't remember any reaction other than it was kind of funny. You know what I mean? It really was. It was kind of funny. I think that Razor went to Japan and worked over there for a while and everything. So it was. I don't know, man. That's what WWE was about as far as creating characters. The characters always stayed, no matter whether the person left. Scott Hall left. Razor stayed. Kevin Nash left. Diesel stayed. So let's just repackage this thing and keep it rolling. We got some merchandise over here. We got to say, who gives a damn who they are? They're Razor and Diesel as far as the person that's buying it is concerned. So I don't know, man. It was definitely different. But it was a different time back then as well.
That's so messed up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I really wonder whose idea that was. I don't know if that was a Vinceism.
It's got to be. That had to be.
Just give me two new guys.
Find me a guy that's 6'9".
Kane really, the fact that he had the career that he did and ended up going in the Hall of Fame is really incredible, because his first two gimmicks in WWE or WWF at the time was Diesel, fake Diesel, and Isaac Yankem, DDS. Yeah. Right? The fact that he was ever able to come up or to be a part of something that would last as long as the Kane character did, that's a testament to him and to the creative team at the time.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Somebody liked him. But then again, no matter how much somebody like you got to have some talent. Glenn always had some talent for a big guy. He could work. He proved that he could carry that gimmick for years. And that's what you're always going to be looking for, in a talent. And just had to figure out, what was it going to be for this guy? I mean, what's gonna work for him? And back then, there again, they experimented with all kind of like crazy gimmicks, because that's what the wrestling business was. It was Duke the Dumpster Drozy. I mean, come on.
Goon.
Yeah, I mean,
I
come
remember
on.
the Goon.
It didn't get, yeah. And the Goon was a very well accomplished wrestler right here from Texas, Wild Bill Irwin. That's who the Goon was.
I know him
You know what
as
I
the
mean?
Goon.
So I'm telling you, man. Back then you had to, figure it out. Because when you came into that company, you was gonna get a gimmick. It's just like Stone Cold Steve Austin said when he walked in, and they go, "You're gonna be the ringmaster." And it's like, damn it, I'm not a technician. Now he had to become Dean Malenko, the man of 1,000 holes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just the way
So
it was.
crazy.
That's just the way it was back then, man. The Bushwhackers. Bushwhackers, man. Those guys, man, before they became the Bushwhackers, they were the Australian sheep herders.
Yeah,
And,
sheep
and
herders.
those guys would beat the crap out of you so bad you would be like, wow, these guys are serious. That's what. Then they came to WWE. There was a couple of gimmicks,
Comedy.
But if you talk to those guys, Luke Williams, he's gonna tell you it was all about the check, brother.
And I'm sure like the work was a lot less, right? Like when you're going out there doing this stuff and licking people.
Okay, tell me this here. Who do you think worked harder over their career? Matt Bourne or Doink the Clown?
Oh, who worked harder?
Yeah.
Oh, Matt Bourne.
Who do you think made the most money?
Doink the Clown.
Damn Skippy. You know what I mean? So we got the more super chats, man, because we got to get out of here, man.
We do not have any more super chats. We do not have any more super chats at the moment.
Let's check it. We're getting ready to roll up out of here.
We are getting ready to roll up out of here. We'll cover more stuff because we're going into WrestleMania next week, and we got to talk about all kinds of things. Right now, there's only 3 people named for the Hall of Fame. I'm interested to see if there's going to be anybody else added to that. But this week book was the 20-year anniversary of your first WrestleMania, WrestleMania 18, which you competed with Edge at that WrestleMania 20 years ago. Of course, it was headlined by Hogan versus Rock. What do you remember about WrestleMania 18?
Nothing.
Other than Taker's advice, right?
You know what, man? Take it all in. Go out there and have some fun. It was a time. It was a time in my career. Working Edge was really, really cool. We didn't really have there again. There was a lot of show involved. And we were fighting for a shampoo commercial. So our feud really never got heated to the point to where it was like a best of 7 rivalry, with Benoit or something like that. So that's the reason why I really don't look at WrestleMania 18 as being, just say for instance, a highlight moment in my career, because we were just working. I don't think Edge and I did anything after that at all, really.
I don't remember.
I think that was the end of Edge and I confrontation, or feud, or whatever you want to call it. But I just don't feel a whole lot was invested in a lot of the stuff that I did when I first got to WWE. But that's just the way the old mop flop. That's just
real quick. I just want to read this one. Kai Tonio just super chatted this in. Oh yeah, I'm down with that, BT. By the way, I'm working on a little cooking show of my own. I've been watching a little Cooker T to see what I'm going to steal. I got to show you how to work that knife, those tomatoes on them tacos.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you right now, braised ribs, I definitely can hook you up with that, brother. If you want a nice braised rib recipe where the meat is just definitely falling off the bone. I'm talking about the moistness inside that rib, brother. It will take you to another place. So definitely I'll hook that one up for you, and we'll definitely hook up when I'm out there doing a little something. Hey, maybe you might want to invite me on the cooking show, and we do a little tag team action or something like that. We will get it done. But hey, before we get out of here again, next week is going down, Sherry Martel Classic. If you guys cannot be there, it's going to be going down on Saturday morning on the 2nd of April. If you can't be there, guys, Fight TV. Go to realityofwrestling.com, get your information. Do it now. I'd do it for you. Hey, man, we got to get out of here. Bradley, I appreciate you as always. Everybody in the super chat, in the chat line, we appreciate you guys. But right now, peace. We out.
Can you dig it, you sucker?